Topic is quantum mechanics. Introduction Classical mechanics. Towards the end of 19th century, physicists were greatly satisfied that they were able to explain most of the phenomena on the basis of Newton's law of motion and Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory, according to which energy is emitted or absorbed continuously. The former were used to explain the phenomena related to the motion and trajectory of the planets, falling stones, etc. Later to explain the phenomena related to energy transfer. The branch of science based on the Newton law of motion and the Maxwell electromagnetic wave theory to explain phenomena related to the motion and energy is known as classical mechanics. Now, the failure of classical mechanics. A classical mechanic was able to explain the phenomena related to the large size object. However, it fails when applied to small particles such as electrons, atom, molecule, etc. For example, according to the classical mechanic, it should be possible to determine simultaneously the position and velocity of moving particles, but this is contradicted by Heisenberg's uncertain principle. Similarly, classical mechanics assume that the energy is emitted or absorbed continuously, whereas Planck's quantum theory postulates that energy is emitted or absorbed not continuously but discontinuously in the form of packets of energy called quanta. Further, the concept of quantum number was introduced arbitrarily to explain the atomic spectra. A few phenomena for which the classical mechanic fails to give satisfactory explanation are black body radiation, photoelectric effect, heat capacity of solid, and atomic and molecular spectra. In the next few sections, we shall discuss how classical mechanics fails to explain the above phenomena and quantum mechanics give a satisfactory explanation. A black body radiation. When a radiant energy falls on the surface of the body, a part of it reflected, a part is absorbed and the rest is transmitted. The whole of the energy is not absorbed because generally the surface of ordinary body are not perfect absorber of radiation. However, if the radiant energy is allowed to fall on the blackened metallic surface or carbon black, it is found that the energy is almost completely absorbed. A body which completely absorbs the radiant energy falling on a perfectly black body, and the absorption is found to be more perfect. If we have take a hollow sphere blackened on the inside and having a small hole of the entry of radiation. This is so because any radiations that enter through the hole is reflected over and again by the walls of sphere till finally it completely absorbed. The most common used black body is one of designed by the Ferri. It is a hollow double-walled metallic sphere having a conical projection P opposite to the holes H is coated on the inside with the lamp black body. The projection helps to avoid any direction reflection or as otherwise body will not act as a black body. Further, a black body is not only a perfect absorber of radiant energy but it is also a perfect radiator. In fact, of all the bodies, the black body radiator the maximum amount of energy for given temperature and the radiation thus emitted are called black body radiation. The next is Kirchhoff's law. Through the black body is a perfect absorber as well as a perfect radiator of energy. All other body also absorb the radiator energy falling on them as well as emit it. The relation between the energy absorbed and the energy emitted by the body may be obtained qualitatively on the basis of simple experiment as follow. Take a hollow enclosure E. Suppose the wall of this enclosure having imparted a uniform temperature and then thermally insulated to keep the temperature constant. Now suppose one black ball B and one white ball W are suspended in the enclosure with the help of insulating thread shown in figure 1.2. In the beginning, the whole space inside enclosure is filled with the radiation emitted by the walls. Further, the walls of enclosures are continuously emitting as well as absorbing radiation. As the balls can also absorb as well as emit radiation, it found that the balls also acquire the temperature of the enclosure which remain constant so long as the temperature of the enclosure is kept constant. Now the question arises why the temperature of the both poles is same in spite of that. The fact the black body is a good absorber and evidently this is due to the fact that the black ball must be a good radiator too. Thus, we conclude that the good absorber is a good radiator. while a poor absorber is a poor radiator. The exact quantitative relationship between the energy absorbed and the energy emitted by the body was put forward by the Kirchhoff in 1859, and it is known as Kirchhoff's law. At any temperature, the ratio of emissive power of the body to the absorptive power is constant independent of the nature of the surface and is equal to the emissive power. A uniformly heated enclosure is called hollow room, and it may be noted that given temperature, if the radiating power of the black surface is taken as 100, then of a polished surface is little as 8. Thus the substance like glass or polished metal which absorb very little are also found to be emit very little radiation. The term emissive power or emittance implies that the energy emitted by the surface per unit time per unit area, whereas the term absorptive power of the absorbance or absorptivity is the fraction of the incident energy absorbed by the surface per unit area and per unit time. Thus, ES and AS represent the emissive power and the absorptive power of the substance, and EB represent the emissive power of the perfect black body. And then, according to Kirchhoff law, ES by AS is equal to EB. The proof of Kirchhoff law is that Kirchhoff law can be derived in simply manner as follows. Q is the amount of radiation incident per unit area per second on a body. If AS is the absorptive power of the surface, then the amount of radiation absorbed by the body per unit second is AS into Q. If ES represents the emissive power of the surface, then the amount of radiation emitted by the surface per unit second is equal to ES. When the body is in thermal equilibrium with enclosure, amount of radiation emitted by the surface per unit second is equal to amount of radiation absorbed by per unit area per second. Thus, ES is equal to AS into Q. For a perfect black body, AS is equal to AB is equal to 1, and ES may be replaced by EB, whereas AB and EB represent the absorptive power and emissive power of perfect black body. Thus we have from equation 1 and 2, ES by AS is equal to EB. Now, the spectral distribution of black body radiation. With increase in temperature, the energy radiated per unit area and per unit time for any surface increase rapidly and simultaneously. The color change from dull red through cherry red and orange up to a bright white heat. Further, it is observed that at the same temperature, the rate of emission is much less for the bright metal like platinum than for a dull black surface such as incandescent carbon filament, and its temperature is above 3500 Kelvin. On the basis of experimental studies, Stephen in 1879 shows that the total amount of energy radiated by the perfectly black body per unit area per unit time is directly proportional to the fourth of power of the absolute temperature, that is T, whereas sigma is the universal constant Stephen, and its value is 5.6697 into 10 raised to power minus 5. If the energy is expressed in ERG as time in second and area in square centimeter, the above statement is called Stephen fourth power law or Stephen Boltzmann power fourth law. As the theoretical proof of this law was given by the Boltzmann by applying the law of thermodynamics. The energy emitted by the black body at any temperature does not consist of single frequency, and it is also not uniformly distributed along the spectra. Loomer and Brungensims in 1899 studied experimentally the distribution of the energy amongst the different wavelengths of the black body spectrum are as follows. The black body radiations were obtained by heating a carbon tube electrically after passing through the slit S1. These were made parallel with the help of concave reflector mirror M1 and then allowed to fall on the fluospur prism to get spectrum. The radiation after the refraction through the prisms were focused by another concave mirror M2 and slit S2 to a linear bolometer. By gradually rotating the prisms, the radiation corresponding to different wavelengths were focused on the bolometer one by one and the intensity measured. By keeping the carbon tube black body at the temperature, a number of observations were taken between the 621 Kelvin to 1646 Kelvin. The curve were then plotted between the monochromatic emittance along the ordinate and the wavelengths along the abscisses for each of the temperature. These curves are as follows in figure 1.4. Each curve represents the variation of the emittance and the wavelength lambda at the temperature of the source. Result: Now some important result observed. The curve in the figure 1.4 are follow. At a particular temperature, the distribution of energy is not uniform among the various wavelengths of the radiation emitted by the black body. What is bolometer? A bolometer is an extremely sensitive instrument for measuring heat radiation. It consists of essentially of two very thin blackened platinum grating forming two arms of white bead stones bridge circuit. Radiant heat falling on one of the grating raise its electrical resistance, thus causing a deflection of the needle of galvanometer in the circuit. For each temperature, there is a wavelength at the energy radiated is maximum. With increase in temperature, the maximum shift higher but towards lower wavelength. This means that the increase in the temperature increase but corresponding. Higher temperature and more pronounced is maximum. The area under the curve of the particular temperature gives the total energy emitted by the black body per unit area per second complete spectrum corresponding to all wavelength at the particular temperature. The area under the curve increased the temperature and it found that the area is proportional to the fourth power of the absolute temperature, as the area under the curve represents the total energy emitted by the black body per unit area per second. This is Stephen-Boltzmann law. Thus, the wavelength for the emission of the black body is maximum and inversely proportional to absolute temperature. This is called V1 displacement law. This law is able to explain why the color of the visible light radiation change from red to yellow. Now we will discuss about the spectral distribution on the basis of classical mechanics. To explain the nature of the spectral distribution curve of the black body radiation, classical mechanics using Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory was applied. According to this theory, the source of the radiation in the form of electromagnetic wave are vibrating particularly particles called oscillator, and those oscillators could radiate or absorb any amount of energy. The frequency of energy emitted is equal to the frequency of oscillator. Based on this classical concept, Wien in 1896 and Lord Rayleigh in Jean in 1900 tried to explain the distribution of black body radiation using the classical concept of continuous emission of radiation. Wien's equations was able to explain the distribution only at the lower wavelength. Rayleigh-Jean equation was able to do so only at the higher wavelength. However, neither of the two was able to explain the complete distribution of the black body radiation. Now, the Planck's radiation law. To solve the above problem, Max Planck in 1900 put forward a bold assumption that the oscillator of the black body cannot have any amount of energy but can have only discrete amount of energy depending upon the frequency of the oscillator. Planck thus summed up his result under the energy is emitted or absorbed not continuously but discontinuously in the form of packets called energy quanta. The energy of these quantum is given by the relation E is equal to hv, where V is the frequency of the radiation and h is the Planck's constant. Thus, the total energy emitted or absorbed is either unit quantum and whole number multiple of hv. Based upon the concept, Planck deduced expression for the energy radiated by the black body wavelength under. This expression is Planck's radiation law. The signifies of different symbol is given in the equation 1 and 2, and it can be seen in both Wien's law as Rayleigh-Jean's law are simply particular case of Planck's radiation law. And if lambda t is small and so that 1 is the denominator in above equation can be neglected, this gives E lambda is equal to 8 pi hc by lambda power 5 e power minus hc by kt lambda, which is Wien's law. If lambda t is large, E hc by kt lambda may be expanded by the exponential theorems, that is E की power hc by kt lambda is equal to 1 by hc by kt lambda. So the Planck's radiation law equation reduced to form E lambda is equal to 8 pi hc by lambda is power 5 into kt lambda by hc, that is equal to 8 pi by lambda is power 4 into kt, which is Rayleigh-Jean's law. Derivation of the Planck's radiation law. Planck considered the black body radiations to consist linear oscillator of the molecular dimension, and the energy of the linear oscillator can be assumed only discrete value. If n0, n0, n1, n2 are the number of the oscillator per unit volume of the Wolfram process energy of 0 hv, 2 hv respectively, then the total number of the oscillator n per unit volume will be n0 is n is equal to n0 plus n1 plus n2. But the number of oscillator n are having energy E is given by Maxwell formula. nr is equal to n naught e power minus er by kt. By putting this value in equation 1, we will get that n is equal to n naught plus n naught e power hv by kt plus n naught e power 2 hv by kt plus up to n naught e power n hv by kt divided by n naught bracket 1 plus e power hv by kt plus e power minus 2 hv by kt, that is equal to n naught by 1 minus e power hv by kt. The total energy of the oscillator will be E is equal to n1 hv plus n2 2 hv plus n3 3 hv we will take common, and n1 2 n2 and 3 n2 hv is equal to n naught e power hv by kt plus 2 n naught e power 2 hv by kt plus 3 n naught e power 3 hv by kt. Now and n0 hv have e power hv by kt plus 2e minus 2 hv by kt plus 3 minus hv by kt. Now the last result will come out, that is equal to n naught hv e power hv by kt divided by 1 minus x square, that is equal to n naught hv e power e hv by kt divided by 1 minus e hv by kt square. Hence the average energy per oscillator is E is equal to E by N, that is equal to N naught HV E minus HV by KT divided by 1 minus E power HV by KT whole square into 1 minus E HV by KT divided by N naught. Thus we can see that the average energy of oscillator is not KT as given by the classical theory, but equal to the HV by E HV's power KT minus 1 according to the Planck's constant theory. Further, it can be deduced that the number of the oscillator per unit volume having frequency in the range of V and V plus dV is equal to 8 pi V square dV divided by C cube. Hence, the average energy per unit volumes inside the enclosure is obtained by multiplying 5.6, that AV dV is equal to 8 pi V square dV divided by C cube into HV E HV by KT minus 1. By putting V is equal to C by lambda and dV is equal to minus C by lambda square d lambda, the average energy per unit volume in enclosure for the wavelength between lambda and lambda plus d lambda will be E lambda d lambda is equal to d 8 pi hc by lambda 5 into 1 by E hv by kt minus 1, or energy radiated by the black body corresponding to the wavelength lambda is equal to E lambda 8 pi hc by lambda power 5 and 1 by E hv lambda kt minus 1, which is Planck's radiation law or Planck's distribution law, that is E lambda is equal to C1 lambda minus 5 power into 1 by E C2 by lambda t minus 1. Now the photoelectrical effect. When a beam of light with the frequency equal to the greater than the particular value is allowed to strike the surface of the metal, electron are ejected intensely from the surface of the metal. This is called photoelectrical effect. Now some important observations for this fact is the electron are ejected only if the frequency of the incident light is equal to the greater than minimum value is called threshold frequency. Number second is the electron are ejected intensely and there is no time interval between hitting of the metal surface by the light and emission of the electrons. The kinetic energy of the emitted electron depend upon the frequency of incident light. And the fourth is number of electron emitted as proportional to the intensity of the incident light. According to the classical theory, the energy of light depend upon the intensity. Thus, if the surface of the metal is exposed continuously to the light of any frequency, the electron should be keep on going, and ultimately the energy should have so high, and electron should leave on metal atoms. But actually, do not happen. However, Einstein explained the different observation and the photoelectrical effect by applying Planck's quantum. And photon hits the metal, it transfers energy to the electrons. Energy give equal to the threshold, and the kinetic energy of the electrons. The quantity hv naught is called work function and equal to the ionization energy of the metal atom. Evidently, the frequency of the incident light is equal to the threshold value. Electrons will be emitted without any kinetic. Further, the intensity of the light means the number of the photons hitting the metal surface per unit time. Thus, increase the intensity of the number of electrons emitted, but will have no effect on this kinetic energy. K is equal to hv minus h V0, and this equation shows the kinetic energy of the electron emitted varies linearly frequency of the incident radiation. Thus, a plot of kinetic energy of the emitted electrons versus frequency of the incident radiation will be straight line with the slope equal to the Planck's constant, and this give one of the method to find the value of the Planck's constant. Now this is all about. Thank you.